You see? Height and weight. We choose only these two variables. You see, weight is always in 60 until 50 to 75. But height will be, everything is higher, right? But how about this scatter plot? How about this scatter plot? You can see as the 2D scatter plot. And that you can choose your horizontal line and your vertical line to see their scatter plot. Okay? And this is part of simple regression. Something that's simple regression. You can explain if you go in high, how about your weight? Will be going more weight. Height and weight is significant correlation or not. Okay? That's mean Pearson correlation. Pearson correlation. These 15 students into couple group. Based on this distribution, can you tell me how many groups you divided will be easy for your discussion or describe? Anyone? Yes. The pointer level. Spread pointer level. Is that it? Or move pointer level. Yes. So by this way, you can show their name or show their test number here. But my problem is how many groups, how many clusters you divided will be appropriate. Yeah, almost 15 students. Based on what? Based on the body shape. Okay, weight and height. You can group in. So maybe you can group them as something like this. Yes. Or these are very low. These 3 persons are very short, and their weight are very light. Okay? They are tiny group. They are tiny group. Or you want to group them as, okay, this group will be always high and strong and weight. They are always at the right upper and right corner, right? In our football team, this 4 guy can be our defense player. You know the American football defense team, they always not be huge.
Soccer.
They just defense, not offense team. How about this? How about this group? This way? And the middle. How about this team? How about this group? So, up to you. You want to group them as 3 groups or 4 groups? Depend on what? It can be 3 groups or 4 groups. But so far, we just based on our visualization. Visualize, right? Just based on our visualize. Some rule for you to choose.
We have some rule to choose.
This is our correlation, Pearson correlation. This is our y weight. That's our intercept. If we suppose we want to, based on your height, to predict how weight you are. So now we want to do the causal relationship, and this our residual here, epsilon. This way can be our simple regression, okay, or linear regression. Clear? Or just cut it. And you can copy this way. Copy two of them. Just watch how I do it. Based on it. For example, you want to do this variable standardized. You can choose this way and view all format. Field. Article. Field standardized block. Standardized column, because we choose the column, right? They want to standardize the column or the block you choose. All of the data we want to standardize it, okay? You know what I mean? You just highlight. The function is similar in Excel. You choose the block, no matter row, region, column. You see? Just push it, standardize the column. You see, just 0 or 1. No, don't worry about it, because your number decimal only 0. So you can show more detail about 3 decimal here. 3 decimal numerical data for this column. Okay. So this is your standardized. So maybe you will try to search. I don't trust your result. Okay, you can go ahead. The first one, the height is 1, and standardize your column. Please remember, show your decimal until 3 decimal. So you see, this line, standardized is 0. That means this weight is our mean, right? The weight is our mean. Because the upper part is 0, right? Meaning is the same. The distribution is the same. But this score without unit. You see, standard deviation, the unit is our measurement unit. Centimeter, centimeter. So this score without unit. Okay? No matter in physical or chemistry, they're talking about the coefficient of the heat, coefficient of the spring, ratio of heat. That always means no unit. Okay? We're talking about the cluster. Okay? And you can choose the cluster analysis. Multivariate exploratory technique. This one course. That's why I suggest maybe next year I will suggest students select the big data application. You have better take the multivariate course first. Okay? Class analysis. Here we're talking about 2 stages. First of all, you have no idea how many class I can cut it. Yes, you can buy the scatter plot. Secondly, you can buy the joint or tree clustering. Something our partition tree. Okay? So you can choose the joint tree clustering. Why we name it 2 stage? First stage, we use the joint tree clustering. Help us to have a visualization. Yes, I cut how many trees? I cut as how many groups will be appropriate. And then we got the idea, use the K mean. K is how many groups you want to check, okay? So first stage, just use the joining. So you can choose the variable quick for advanced. Okay, quick for advanced. It's the same. You choose the variable here, And what the variable you want to class name? Value, height, and weight, right? You base on height and weight. They will combine, consider these two variables together at the same time, okay? Maybe you can name it as a body shape. You consider my weight and height, even the length of arm is raw data. What they can value choose? They show the distance match. Okay, I will show you later. Besides raw data, if you give me the distance, yes, I can class name. What means the distance metric? Oh, I sit very close with the Priala. I sit very close with the Lamb. I sit very close with the Mindu. Yes, you are same group. You are always sitting. We are very short distance, right? You are very close. We are at the north of Taiwan. Yes, we are very close. You at Kendin, you at the Pingdong, you are at Maple. Okay, same local area. That means distance match. Okay. Any kind of distance match you ever find in your daily life. Ticket price, right? Ticket price. When you buy the ticket from your capital Mumbai, what your capital name? Huh? Matching. Distance matching, okay? And they will let you choose how can you calculate the distance, that means linkage. Two countries, you have many kinds to define your distance. Oh, this is country A and this country B, maybe Taiwan and the mainland China. What's here? The linkage at the boundary at one definition. Okay? The other distance at your centroid, maybe your center to center, right? This is a shortage definition. Yes, you can define our distance as the maximum distance, boundary to boundary, the far distance, the same, another kind of distance. You know what I mean? How can you define two object distance? Okay. Yes, these are physical distance. If you are research on human resource, you can see two boys, if they go to the washroom, they stand very close and peer. That means they are good friends, okay? You know what I mean? Good friend, when they go to the washroom, they stand very close and peer together and just talking. They're very close, right? And the body, if they are go talking, they are very close, okay? That's the good friend. But they have a long 2 meter, 3 meter. They are stranger, okay? They are just first meet. You can define as a psychology distance. You know what I mean? Psychological distance. The distance, complete the linkage, weighted, or most of you is word method. Word method is when you define two object distance, they will choose the shortest variation between all the names.
So the shortest
Word,
variation between
okay?
all of them.
Word method. They can define the distance, the minimal variation. Okay? They are very popular use. Distance measure in our high school, we always define as Eurasian distance. So what is Eurasian distance? Even you can use the square Eurasian distance. Let me tell you what is Eurasian distance. 2 points. This point is y1, x1 dimension. Yes, doesn't matter. 3D dimension, you have a z1 here. You have a z2 here. Right? That means 2 points at the space. 2 point distance at space, right? We have a 3D, right? Doesn't matter. You have another plus z1 minus z2 squared. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 3D, right? That's 2-point distance in space. That's why we define always Eurasian distance, okay? But sometimes you can use the square. Square. That means 50 distance. We always name it Manhattan distance. No square root. That's it. No square root. Manhattan distance. Okay? Yeah, someone defined the city block. Okay. Sometimes 2 points. You cannot define the 2 point directly here because this is a length. Manhattan distance. City block does mean yes. You have this way, row, this column. You can just define the city block. You just cannot go this way. Correlation, how high correlated you are. The reverse, that means your distance. You know what I mean? Correlation, Pearson correlation. 1 minus Pearson correlation. Correlation, that means you are very close. That means the reverse, that means how not similar we are. Right? We are not so close. That's your distance. Something like your stake, right? Not even so. 70%, 90%, or 50% your stake. Define your distance. So you can just keep the Eurasian distance, okay? And just push OK. And then they will ask you, okay, for the country, yeah. Cluster here, that one is very important. Just watch here. Everybody watch here. Everybody watch here, okay? Our study purpose is cluster our variable or cluster our case. Yes, we class our case, okay? Factory exploratory factor analysis. Principal component is class our variable, okay?
Cluster.
How tall you are, how high you are, how long you are. This kind of variable are similar. They will be in one principle. That's the principal component. Exploratory factor analysis, they are classed the variable. Okay? Combine the variable together. Right? But our case, this time we want to class our student, right? So we want to class our case. Let me class our row. Okay? So every time just remember you want to class the variable or class the case. Okay?
Yes.
Remember. Just remember. Okay? And then now we're just going to our joining. And you can check the horizontal, hierarchical or vertical.
Yes.
Just push the vertical here. Oh, okay, that's something like the MLB, NBA, this American League, this USA League.
Drawing.
Right? What do you mean? I will explain later. You see, which two person will be grouping together first. When you going out the distance a little here, you see 2 and the 14. They are very close. 9 and the 13. They will be in the same group first. Okay? Finally, how many groups you want to discuss will be better, up to you. So you can just draw a line here, up to you. Your 9 distance will be here, and I can divide it as a random manner. Arrow property, and I want to highlight as a color. Grab option or arrow property. I didn't find it longer. Line and color with okay. And If your distance at the 60, you can group as 2 clusters. If your distance going down here, you can have a class as 3 groups. If you define here as the distance, you can have 4 groups, okay? Depend on which way you cut. You cut how many stems, okay? That means depend on how your standard to choose your boyfriend. If you are very serious and your standard is very high, okay? You are a very high class lady. Sorry, you don't have any boyfriend. You cut anyone, okay? There's always,
Remember.
in your eye, all of the male are animals. You don't have any boyfriend. But if you can lower down your distance with other person, yes, you can have 2 boyfriends. Cut as 2 groups, okay? One group is just friend. One group is very close friend. Yeah?
Professor?
3 or 4 groups will be better. But finally, that depends on you, right? Yes, you can see the scale tree to your distance of link over your maximum distance. The distance I with Pierre and the maximum with I with the other person, maximum distance over. That's the percentage. Just change your scaling. That's the other kind of index. But the figure is almost the same. Okay? Vertical. Percentage. You can base on the percentage to see that. Okay? So what do you think? If I would choose 3 or 4 clusters would be better. So K-mean, you can just try to see at advance. That means you can see the step by step. How to pronounce it? Amalgamation sketching. What do you mean? Please watch here. If your distance from 1 to 2, you see, number 2 and the number 14, they will be first come together. Okay, they will be couple, girlfriend, boyfriend. Number 2 and number 14, they will most similar. Okay, maybe they are 3 or very close couple. So they always stick together. When your distance going to 1.4, you see, 5 and 6 will be come together. So answer me until 2. The other group will be figured out. That means 9 and 13. 9 and 13. Okay? So 1. E1. 1. So far. You define distance at 2. How many groups you are now? 15%. We already complete 1 group. So you lost 1 group reader. Second group, you lost 1 group reader. Third, you lost 3 groups. You know? Because these two persons is 1 group, right? So how many groups? Totally 15, right? Totally 15. Everybody is a own group. You are your own group, right? But now we have 3 couples. So now minus 1,
12. Degree of freedom.
15 minus 3, right? So now we have 12 groups. You know what I mean? When all of these will be combined as another whole group. You see, 20 and the 27. 20 and the 27, yeah. Will you until 20.4. 27. When you approach 80, Just one group. Maybe you cannot understand what I mean. When you approach 80, yeah. One group, okay? When your standard so high, congratulations. You, in your eye, only one girlfriend. Good job. Right? When you roll down your standard, okay, you have 3 girlfriends. You are not so lucky. Maybe dangerous, right? Well, 27. So between 20 and 27, you have 3 groups, right? Between 20 and 27, you see, you always have 3 groups. You cut 3 groups, right? So you can compare this, your stage, step by step, how they integrate, okay? From the season player and the final and the league. Finally, you're champion. Depend on the system, you can join all of this. And you can see the distance metric. What is your distance metric? That's your distance metric. Your own distance with yourself is 0, right? Remember, in our correlation metric, our diagonal is 1, right? Correlation metric, you correlated your own self is 1. But distance metric, that means you don't have any distance with your own self, right? But actually, in the midnight, you always can understand yourself. Yes, who you are, you always miss.
So true.
But you see, there's a symmetric distance. Symmetric, yes. All the 3 data is similar to this. I just remind you, they are similar to your this distance metric, okay? But if you want to input or set as your raw data, you can choose as that metric. Okay? The same metric, but you increase 4 rows. One row is their mean, the other is the row standard deviation, the other is number of cases. But actually number of cases now is about 15, right? 15. You can set 15 cases. So actually you increase to actually you increase 4 rows. But what is this? Metric 3. Don't worry about it. This is the parameter of Statistica software. Remind this software, this metric is distance metric, not correlation metric. Okay? You know what I mean? Correlation metric, the parameter is 1. I will introduce data. I have ever happened once. When I submitted my article to international journal, pretty good journal, and the reviewer, he doesn't believe my analysis result. How can you get so nice result? And ask me, please email me your metric. Because my raw data include 20,000, so the file will be very large. And 40 variable, 20,000 data file will take a lot. Doesn't matter, you just send him the correlation metric or distance metric. He can rerun it. You know what I mean? All of relation between variable, the information between or among variable will be in metric. You know what I mean? This is something like a small word. Something like a small word. You don't need to send me your raw data. Maybe your raw data is very huge, right? But your correlation matrix is very small. I can rerun it. Okay? You can rerun it. So when you run the clustering, you rerun this, is the matrix. The same. Yes. Okay? For example, 24.7 data. Case 1 to case 3, just 6 data, 6.3 data. I can just based on the bus ticket price. I can cross the name and identify how close the city you are. Okay? You know what I mean? Even the flight time of your airplane. Okay, flight time. When Taipei fly to Hong Kong, Singapore, New York, the flight time. All of the information together, I can tell which two cities, how many cities are in Europe, how many cities are in Asia, based on the airline flying time. Okay? They can figure out how far apart each other. Okay. So go back to here, we can see our match and we can class name and save the classification. We can save the classification. Or you want to sort by cluster. Save it. Because I cut here. So if I cut here, you see, if I cut here, sorry. If I cut here, they will give me 2 class. Okay? And here, they will give me 3 class. Right? So you can set the class partition and move. You can just move. Okay? Just move your 9, 3 or 4 class. And push OK there. So you highlight all of your data here, they will set the class member here. You know, this column. They will show you. You know what I mean? Please identify your position, how many class you are, okay? And they will set 1, 2, 3. Let's try to do set the 4 class, okay? We can move the 9. We can move the 9. We can move the 9 here. You want to set the class again, right? And you can remove this. 3 cluster, 4 cluster, right? We cut a 4. We cut 4 class, right? Yes. 15 students divided into 4 clusters. That's your choice. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. You see, 1 group, 2 group, 3 group, 4 group, okay? Yes. But you had better, your conclusion tell me, okay, each student can be 1 group. That's a very stupid way, right? 1 student can be 1 group. Now, you see, they keep showing you the result. They show you the result, okay? 4 group. You see number 12 in 4 group, okay? And you select all the variable again. They will set into your data file. Okay? So just push OK here. So they just sorting your class member. Okay. This is case 12.4.1. And please reset in your data file. Okay. So you set the variable will be into your memory. Don't forget to save again. Save. Right. This you will find only 1. Save it. Save it. If you want, you can save it. Okay? For group. What is your result? You can save as this height and weight case 1201. On your desktop, that's our output file, okay? That's our output file. What is your set? Here. All of this is your output file, okay? All of this is your output file. If your notebook install the Statistica, you can just open the output file. Okay? You don't need to do anything again, or you can paste the figure into your Word. You can modify it at the same time. Okay, please close it and we continue our. Yes, you can save this. You can save it. You can save this method. Okay, the same. But the extension name will be ST. That's a metric file. Save as. They will give you the extension name automatically. The same height and weight. Okay, and this December 01. But don't worry. Now your output file. Extension name will be SMX. Okay, symmetric Statistica metric SMX file. Extension name, yeah. SMX. That's a metric file. Okay? Metric file.